Hey guys, welcome back to another one of my videos where I show you how to make delicious treats at home. Today, in the Everything Matcha series, I will be sharing a recipe for the cutest strawberry matcha cupcakes. These are actually quite easy to make, so stay tuned and make sure you subscribe to my channel. This recipe has 3 main steps, and the first one is making the strawberry jam that will be inside the cupcakes. So for this you'll need 70 grams of strawberries, 10 grams of sugar, and half a teaspoon of agar. So if, like me, you are using frozen strawberries, you want to go ahead and defrost those in the microwave. Then, using a hand blender or mixer, you can puree them. That means you need to mix the fruit until it becomes smooth and has no lumps. So once the fruit is entirely mixed, you're going to transfer that into a pot and then place it over medium heat. We are going to boil this puree in order to get a thicker jam. While that's happening, we need to add the agar to the sugar and whisk well. So when the puree starts boiling, add in the agar and sugar mixture. Mix well using a heat-proof spatula, then remove from the heat and pour the strawberry jam into a container or a bowl that can go into the fridge and cover that with some cling wrap touching the surface. You want to let that cool for an hour or until completely set. We can now move on to making the matcha cupcake batter, and for that you'll need 125 grams of flour, 60 grams of sugar, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, 7 grams of matcha powder, 1.5 teaspoon of milk, that is whole fat milk of course, 125 grams of soft butter, and also 2 large eggs to add in later. So for this I am using a stand mixer, but you can totally give it a try by hand. Adding all the ingredients at once, except the milk. We are leaving the milk out for later until we mix the batter a bit first. There is no specific order in which you need to add the ingredients, so you can just go ahead and start with whichever ones you like. So on the stand mixer, we are going to start at slow speed until the ingredients get incorporated. And after that, we can mix for a minute or so on a medium speed. If, like me, you forgot about the eggs, don't panic. You can just add them even if you've mixed a little bit. When the mixture is at a creamy consistency, you need to reduce stand mixer speed and add in the milk gently. When using a stand mixer, it's always a good idea to check the bottom of the bowl for any lumps or unmixed bits. So give it a gentle mix before placing it in a piping bag. You can also use a spoon if you prefer. You need a cupcake mold either in silicone or in metal, and then you want to prepare some cupcake paper in each cavity and start filling them. The ideal size per cupcake is about 2/3 of each cavity. So if you're using a spoon, that's approximately 1.5 tablespoons. If, like me, you end up having these spikes, don't worry about it, it will even out when baking. So you can place the cupcakes in a preheated oven at 170 degrees C or 340 F for approximately 20 minutes or until a toothpick comes out dry. Once the cupcakes are baked, you can remove them from the mold and let them cool at room temperature. Next up, we'll be making the frosting. So for this you'll need 180 grams of butter, a pinch of salt, some pink food coloring, some strawberry extract, 270 grams of icing sugar. For this frosting, it is absolutely vital that the butter be very soft, so if the weather is cold, you want to take it out of the fridge up to 12 hours before using it. In a stand mixer using the paddle attachment, we can mix the butter for 5 to 10 minutes before adding in the icing sugar and keep mixing. Start at a slow speed to avoid the sugar coming out of the bowl, and you'll know you're done when the sugar is completely incorporated and the frosting has an almost white color. Before adding the food coloring and flavoring, make sure you give the bowl another scrape to have an even coloring throughout the buttercream. Don't hesitate to get the spatula out and check for any uncolored spots in the frosting. This tends to happen when using the paddle attachment. At this stage, you will need a piping bag and some sort of piping tip. I am going with a flower-shaped piping, so I've chosen this piping tip. You can simply go for a swirl or a start if you prefer. Set that aside and let's move to assembly. Remember that strawberry jam? It's time to get that out of the fridge. I like to mix it a bit with a hand blender to make it less stiff. This only works with agar, so if you're using gelatin, just skip this step. Here once more, I like to use my nifty piping bag, but that is optional. This will help you pour some jam into the cupcakes in the cleanest way possible. Moving on to the cupcakes, and seeing as the top of some of my cupcakes aren't as even as I would have liked them, I am simply chopping that upper part off with a knife. Then with a small spoon, carve a hole into the cupcake and fill that in with some jam. You can adjust with a spatula or palette knife and make sure you remove all those crumbs from the top and the sides of each cupcake. Apply a generous layer of buttercream in this flower pattern or the pattern of your choosing, and that's it! You can now sit back, relax, and enjoy these cupcakes. In winter, you can leave them out at room temperature. In summer, however, they need to be kept in the fridge. I find they are best with a cup of tea as an afternoon snack. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section. If you make this recipe, be sure to share the result with me over on Instagram. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you're the first to see my next recipes. See you next week, and as always, bon appetit!